Jackson, we have a packed show for you today. We have a guest star talking about Lyme disease. We have a few homecoming chairs to talk about this upcoming weekend here at the University of Kansas. But let's get started with some other news.
Yep, that's right. Well, there was a shooting at Brothers, a bar here on Massachusetts Street over the weekend.
Now, the shooting did happen outside of Brothers, just over 11th in Massachusetts, but the crowd that was involved in the shooting was at Brothers that night. There's still no suspect in custody. 3 people were killed. Now, this is the 6th incident in Lawrence involving guns in just the last month.
That's right. And then Malik actually had a chance to be outside Brothers and see what was going on. So Malik, can you just tell us a little bit about what the vibes were outside of Brothers that night?
It was, I went out there and it was a few minutes after the shooting happened. And it was very surreal because
for Media Crossroads and KUJH, I'm Malik
I talked to 2 girls that were actually in line at Fuzzy's when the shooting happened. They're like still in shock almost. And there was this couple that was walking up the street and they say they had their car actually parked outside of that museum that's right there. And they were just like, this is unbelievable. And they had just went to late night that night and they were walking up the street and they have their dog with them. And then all of a sudden they hear these gunshots and so then they run for cover. Then they said they came back once the gunshots had stopped and they saw fire medical resuscitating someone on the ground. It was just really a shock of a scene out there.
It's not really something that anyone is expected to happen in Lawrence. I had the chance to talk to some students on Wesco yesterday and see how they felt about the things that had occurred. And I actually talked to one student who was outside Brothers, and Malik was with me. We talked to her a little bit about how she reacted in the situation, and her friend said they immediately ducked down behind an Uber and they were hiding, and she actually shoots guns. So she was telling us that she knows it was a semi-automatic gun and that's why the gunshots went so quickly. But we did get the chance to talk to the students and see how they're feeling, so we have a video clip for you guys about that.
I'm a little devastated. It's unfortunately not uncommon anymore.
It's really scary to think that it could have been anyone.
Being that we don't normally hear those things in Lawrence was pretty terrifying to think that those actions can happen so close to us.
I mean, I think obviously awareness is important, but I feel like with this and then also what happened in like Las Vegas, I feel like everybody's seen it now. So I feel like at this point it's just like taking action.
I think we can just be like caring towards one another and try to prevent it.
Like, I think concealed carry shouldn't be something that's instituted in the state of Kansas.
I'm a gun supporter, and I don't think that's the issue. I think it's the people.
If guns can't be gotten rid of, or if weapons can't be gotten rid of, then I think we should start to learn maybe to develop a culture that knows how to handle those kinds of tools better.
You know, no matter where we're from, no matter what our skin color is, no matter what language we speak, we need to care about each other.
And right there, you can see how this is just shocking and rocking this community because
right.
Brothers is a spot where kids around this campus go a lot. And it's just really, it's time for us to take action. We need to put something in place where we don't have to worry about these kind of things happening at 1:50 in the morning
That's right.
at a college bar.
And the KU students, obviously everyone thinks there's something to do. Everyone has their own opinions about how we can lessen the violence in the future. So Malik, what do you personally think that we can do about this?
I personally think that gun control is something that's, reasonable. Over 70% of the country supports it. It's a majority, so why wouldn't we do it? And we cannot continue to have these sort of things happening. And in our next story, which is about Las Vegas, we see that why someone has 18 military-style guns is not reasonable to me.
That's right.
It's something that needs to be done and taken care of right now. Let's talk about it while it's right here.
And I think it's definitely important in a time like this for everyone just to love everyone a little extra harder, make sure everyone's keeping everyone on their feet, and just kind of like binding together in a rough time like this.
That's important. We gotta love and we gotta care about each other.
That's right.
Alrighty, moving right along here. Our hearts here at Wake Up Call are heavy as we report that 59 people were killed Sunday night in Las Vegas at a music festival. 527 people were injured, and the shots were fired from a hotel room at the Mandalay Bay Hotel from the 32nd floor. Witnesses say this shooting went on for 15 minutes. It is reported as the largest mass shooting in modern United States history. The gunman used 10 different guns to hold consistent fire. However, he killed himself before police got into the hotel room.
We want to keep the families of those who are injured in our thoughts and prayers this week, and be sure to love one another extra hard as America recovers from this tragedy.
Alrighty, moving on to another story here. 2 weeks after a devastating hurricane ripped across Puerto Rico, the people there are still struggling to receive basic necessities. Now reports are that the aid is there, but it has been hard to get it to all the areas around Puerto Rico. A CNN report found that some people, this is really sad, some people have been eating dog food just to survive, and most are still in shelters, and a lot of the electrical grid that was completely knocked out remains out. The situation remains dire, and we certainly here are keeping them in our prayers, and that is, I mean, when I saw that some people are eating dog food just to stay alive.
No, that's devastating. Well, on a more positive note, we have the icon bearing good news section. Deshaun Watson, a former Clemson football player and an NFL rookie, made a heartwarming donation last week. He donated his very first NFL paycheck to 3 cafeteria workers who were affected by Hurricane Harvey. The check was worth $27,353 and went straight to helping these 3 women who had severe damage to their car and homes.
Alrighty, and some sad news to pass along to you. Rock icon Tom Petty, best known as the lead singer of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, died Monday night after suffering cardiac arrest. According to sources, he passed away peacefully surrounded by family and friends and bandmates. Godspeed. Tom Petty was 66. We'll be right back on Wake Up Call.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you. Your identity for life. The University of Kansas. A great place to be you.
Alrighty, welcome back, guys. Lyme disease has become one of the leading chronic illnesses in the United States. More than 200,000 U.S. cases per year, and a KU student, Bella Gray, has been dealing with this horrible illness the past several months. Take a look.
Disease for the past several months.
It's really important to just be conscious of tick bites and where you can get them at, because that's how you get Lyme disease.
The Center for Disease Control calls Lyme disease the great imitator because the symptoms that mimic other diseases and affect different areas of the body.
So many hidden things, it can just be interpreted as so many other diseases or issues.
A lot of times patients present just with a lot of flu-like symptoms. They might have muscle weakness, just really tired. Most frequently we see people coming in with visible signs, because that's typically the first thing you notice would be a rash, and particularly a bullseye type rash.
And it's important to be aware of these warning signs and symptoms because the combination of weather, woodlands, and location cause ticks to be abundant in Lawrence.
This area in Kansas in particular, we've got a lot more trees here than the rest of the state, just more wooded areas, and so ticks, it's a hot spot for ticks.
And the CDC says you need to catch these signs early on, especially when you get the bullseye rash. Reporting from Lawrence for KUJH News, I'm Keely McCormick.
Alrighty, joining me now is Sherry Brown, whose daughter Avery is 16 and has had Lyme disease for the past 4 years. Sherry, thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning, thank you.
Our first question to you this morning is, how did you realize that your daughter had Lyme disease?
Her first symptom was a terrible migraine that made her lose control of her legs. She couldn't walk. So we took her to the ER and they tested her for encephalitis and meningitis, all different things that were negative. And it took her about 2 weeks to really come back to full strength. And then she was fine for months at a time, but she would have intermittent nerve pain and joint pain and seemingly unrelated symptoms. So it took probably 1.5 years to get her diagnosed.
And so through this period of time, how much schooling and things like that did she miss?
In the beginning, maybe 2 or 3 weeks at a time, and then it really got to a critical point where she just couldn't function. She missed, I want to say from January 30th through almost the end of the semester, and she had to do home tutoring.
Wow. So, as a mom dealing with a child with Lyme disease, what would be your advice to other parents out there who are dealing with this same issue, or maybe at the beginning stages, maybe at the middle stages of learning about this?
At the beginning stages, I would say trust your instincts that something is wrong and you really need to pursue a diagnosis. A lot of the initial screening tests for Lyme disease are not very accurate. So Avery didn't come up with a positive Lyme test right away, but I knew that summer we had exposure. So even though she got negative initial screenings, I kept pursuing that, and eventually that is what it turned out to be. So my advice would be to, even if you get initial negatives, if it seems to fit, then just keep pursuing that and be turned off by your doctor's failure to want to intervene.
Alrighty, and what precautions would you say to parents to avoid maybe your child getting bit by a tick and things like that? What precautions would you tell them to take?
Well, you know, that's really a tough thing because now they think that it can be transmitted through any blood-sucking insect, which would be lice, fleas, and fleas, mosquitoes, and spiders. And I think that's kind of unrealistic to think that anybody can avoid those bites. I think just obviously you're going to need to use bug spray. They always recommend long pants and shirt sleeves, but that is kind of unrealistic. But for the most part, definitely avoiding heavily wooded areas and inspecting your kids after they're out to play, or if you're out with your friends, really just trying to make sure that you're not bringing anything home with you.
And what would you say for kids that are getting diagnosed with Lyme disease? You've seen this firsthand and how your daughter's dealt with it. What would be your advice to them when they're having a bad day and they feel like they just can't go on?
Gosh, that's a tough one. I think that for each person it's different, and it's a long journey. Some people recover quickly. Some people take a long time. I think the most important thing is to help build your own immune system with good, clean eating and exercise, and that the combination of building up your own immunity with antibiotics or herbal supplements should get you over the hump.
Alrighty, and how's your daughter doing now?
Most of the time she's pretty good, but there's certainly an unpredictability factor where sometimes out of the blue she just won't be able to get out of bed for a few days. But she definitely has more good days than bad. Feel like we're making progress, but it's a long road.
Well, thank you, Sherry, for coming on today to bring some awareness to a disease that flies under the radar a lot. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back on Wake Up Call.
All right, and welcome back. Now, I'm here with two homecoming directors, Taylor Dent and Ben Berardi, because it's homecoming week, so we've all got to get excited. Now, can you tell me about the recent events this week and everything that's occurring to prepare for homecoming?
Yeah, of course. There's a lot going on. We have events every day, so that's pretty fun. Our first event was Sunday, was Glow KU, so all of the participants would decorate a house, one of the Greek houses, with lights. And then you got points for displaying it. And then you get additional points for displaying it throughout the entire week. So all the Greek houses are all lit up with lights and everything like that. So it's a really pretty cool thing that we do there.
Yeah, it kind of looks like Christmas when you're driving around campus, honestly. It looks
in October, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty nice. So,
yeah.
The next thing that we did was a sign competition. We all got together and painted a sign. I think it was like 6 feet by 4 feet. And then we brought those up to or Watson Hall, and just kind of displayed them along the lawn, and that was a pretty easy one. That one wasn't that hard. There was a trivia night as well. That was also on Monday. Unfortunately, we didn't get to participate in that because we only had 3 people there. But it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, they still went there and answered the questions. We had Chalk and Rock the next day. That was out on Wesco Beach too. You guys everyone saw that. There was a bunch of people coloring with chalk over there and doing designs and everything like that. The Hunt on the Hill, this one has been around for a little while. That's a scavenger hunt where the 2 guys and 2 girls will literally run around campus and try to find certain landmarks that are pertinent to Jayhawks. The next thing that we are doing, this is actually a new one this year. We haven't done this before. This is called the Canstellation Jayhawk. This one's pretty cool. We are building a structure out of the cans that we donate that pertains to the theme Jayhawks of the Galaxy. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, we're looking to do some kind of spaceship, something like that, or something cool. The last couple of things, there's a United Way supply drive. So any piece of like notebook paper, folders, pencils, anything like that really benefits a lot of people that can't afford these kind of things or get access to them. And so our group at least has taken it upon ourselves to really work on notebooks and getting people the school supplies that they need to do well. I think at this point right now we're about 250 notebooks that we've been able to find in Lawrence.
That's awesome. Where can people donate? Where can people like bring notebooks to help donate to that?
Yeah, so the United Way supply drive is going to be at the Alumni Center. A lot of these events are located at the Alumni Center. It's really easy. It's right across from the Union. But that is 10 to 2, so anytime people want to come donate some office supply stuff, and it can be used notebooks too. Gently used notebooks, pencils, and stuff like that. It doesn't have to be brand new. So everyone can help. It's a really great opportunity to get involved. Jayhawk Jingles is that night on Thursday, and they also have this thing called Food Fest, which is a really cool thing where we get all the Lawrence like food trucks to come around, and it's all free, and you get to see some performances from pledges and stuff like that as well.
That's awesome.
So it's a great time. That starts at 6. If you're looking to get food, definitely get there early.
Okay.
The last thing, the homecoming parade is at 6 p.m. on Mass Street. That's going to start, I believe it's around 13th Street or something like that, right about the park. Yeah, so that's a great time to see all the floats. They're really cool, and we get points for turnout, so make sure you come say hi.
Yeah, I know the homecoming parade. I was there last year. It's like super fun just to see all the different floats and stuff. So what are you guys doing to prepare for your float this year?
Yeah, so as far as preparing, we do, obviously making the float takes like Sunday through like Thursday, you have to assemble it. And so we do pomping, which is not that fun at all, but we try to get people excited about it. Try to make the freshmen like get involved, just like folding tissue paper, and like it's pretty tedious, but at the end of the week, obviously, it's really cool to see like everything that you've made throughout the week. So that's really fun. We like get to meet a lot of new people. Obviously, like we're with 3 fraternities, so that's really fun. And
that's awesome. And I know all these events lead up to the big game on Saturday. So can you tell me what time the game's at, who we're playing?
The game is at 11. We're playing Texas Tech. It's going to be hopefully a good game. My hopes are high. We have our alumni coming in town, so it's going to be a really great time hanging out with some of the older guys that have graduated. But no, we're really looking forward to the game and the parade and everything like that.
Yeah, so can you tell me really quick, what's your guys, like what has been your favorite event this week, or what are you most looking forward to?
This week, what do you think?
My favorite so far has been the lights. I went home over the weekend, and I came home on Sunday night, and so all the lights were like really cool. And like I know at Delt we did like a spaceship, or like a galaxy in the like lawn, so it was really neat to see all the lights on all the houses.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I would say honestly, I like building the float, like actually physically constructing it.
Man.
I'm not much of a pomper, but I can handle like the woodwork and everything like that. So
chicken wire.
Chicken wire, it's all right. Just get a staple gun, we'll be all right. No, but yeah, so really building the float and actually like being a part of it and then seeing it done on Friday is probably the coolest thing when I'm walking in the front and just seeing it done. That's a really cool thing to see.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for coming today. Be sure to go out and participate in all the homecoming festivities, and we'll be back after the break.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas. A great place to be you.
Welcome back once again. We're excited to tell you guys that here at Wake Up Call, we're going to introduce something a little different to help bring some more positivity to campus. We want to challenge you guys to go out of your way to do something for someone else this week, whether it's volunteering somewhere or just helping out a friend like Malik. Once you complete this task, email us at wakeupcall@gmail.com. That's wakeupcall@gmail.com. to let us know what you did. And attach a selfie if you'd like, because me and Malik, we love seeing selfies here at Wake Up Call.
Love them.
Even if it's not something you do, but something your friend does or something you see, just send the positivity our way so we can help share these stories with others. And to start off this week, I wrote Malik a nice note.
Oh.
I don't know if you guys can see it, but it says you're beautiful.
Information we already knew, but yeah. But no, there's never, I don't know. There's always room for positivity, and so adding something else to bring good vibes in a world that we see today that is just really struck by disaster after tragedy, after devastation. It's great to see positive vibes.
I think it's really important to focus on the good things going on in the world too, and that's why we want to do this, just to like bring light to you guys and make sure everyone sees that there is still good going on, even though there's a lot of tragedies happening. It's important to bind together, and like I said earlier, love extra hard this week.
And that's why it's important, and that's why at Wake Up Call you'll get your news and you're guaranteed to walk away with a smile. Thank you for joining us this morning. We'll see you right back here next Wednesday at 9 a.m.